There we go. Is that better? I didn't turn on my mic. Well, what you missed was just me saying hello to everybody and saying that the post office is open. The P.O. box is officially been reopened, and so I can accept packages. Hi, Connie. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. Hello, Carol. How are you doing? Hi, Mary Beth and Tyne. How you doing? I'm glad you guys can hear me now. Normally wouldn't complain. Yeah, I can understand that sometimes. Hi, Ira. How you doing? Ira says, happy to be here, sitting here watching one of my favorite live streams with a hot steaming bowl of cashew fried brown rice. That sounds delicious. And thank you for the compliment. I'm glad you really like the live streams. Hello, Wild Mountain Rose. Nice of you to join me tonight. Yeah, I'm happy the PO box is open too. I know a lot of people have been asking about it. Oh, good. Thanks, Bren. I'm glad that everything's working now that I turned the mic on. Oh, hello, Carol. Was watching Ed. He's back home. Yes, Ed from Mountain Mariner is finally home, and he's got some fantastic news regarding his life after all these long days he's been putting in. Hello, Panhandle. Nice of you to join. I'm mad at the TV. This time it was totally me, Rob and Sarah, totally me. Bill says he'll be back. Hi, Mary Beth. How you doing? And Delia. Yep, this is now. We are live. Hello, Annette. Yeah, it's because I am actually blonde. I'm glad you're doing good, Delia. Ira says, I love your choice of paint color in the kitchen. Thank you. I'm glad that it worked out. I was a little bit nervous about it before I put it on the wall, and then as I started painting, because it looked quite orange. But as it dried the perfect color of basically Matador red is the tone I was going for. It's not actually the name of the color, and I don't have the paint chip from the store, but as soon as I can get that, I will let everybody know what the exact color was. Hello, Piggy Wings. How are you doing? Clint says it got up to 80 degrees in Texas. Almost had to turn on the AC. I think I would have turned it on a long time ago. Oh, sorry about that, Rob. I just skipped right over you. I will add you, Rob. Just give me one moment and I can do that because I don't think Dewey is going to make it tonight either. So give me 1 second here, folks, to get that all situated. Let's see here. Oh, it's going to take me just a moment. Sorry about that. Let's see here. For some reason, your channel name is not coming up, Rob. There we go. All right, Rob, you are added as a moderator. And hey, Nomi, how you doing? Says he's busy but listening in. That's perfectly fine. Hello, Big T. How you doing? I hope you're doing good tonight. And Big T says he's back to normal, which is good. And Bill, you have my love as everybody else. I hope that everybody is doing good tonight. It's a beautiful spring day here in Alaska. Finally, after about 4 days, no snow, but we're supposed to get more snow in the next couple of days. Um, JR says, since you painted, we can now see when you stand in front of your shelf. Yeah, I literally was blending into the background. It's one of the reasons I have this black backdrop behind me here in the office, is because otherwise I fade away into the white wall. And I have to keep a light covered. Otherwise, I'm just completely washed out in the office as well. Hello, Steve. That's awesome that you're using the detergent recipe. I love my detergent recipe actually. And I love the fact of hand washing. In fact, the next video that I make is actually regarding not only laundry, but also water usage here in the cabin. So I'm glad that you're finding the detergent recipe to be a good thing for you. Hi, Heather. How you doing? She said, got here at the start instead of the finish for a change. That's nice. Hi, Julia. I have had a couple more interviews. I had one job offer, but the job didn't pay enough, unfortunately, for the hours that they were requiring. And it also required me to go into Anchorage once a week to report to the main office. And it's just that's too far to do, I think, especially in the winter months, and then also with the pay not being what I need, I decided to pass on that one, but hopefully something comes soon. Hi, Terry, how are you doing? Thank you for the compliment on the videos. It's a my goodness. Hi, Tiff, how are you doing tonight? Hello, Donna. I'm having a great week, and I hope you are too. Hi, Doug. Nice of you to be here. And there is Rob's channel link if anybody needs it for Curmudgeon Inn. Hi, Norm. How you doing from Virginia? I'm not sure if this was your link, Rob, or if that was Nomi's link. Hi, Delia. The sun is out. That's fantastic. The sun will be out here until about 8:30 tonight. Hi, Chris. How you doing? Grissom sends a big woof to Kenai. Yeah, Kenai left the room. I think he's annoyed with all the talking. Hi, Jeep Girl. And Julia. Yeah, thanks. I'll find something. Yeah, sorry. I know I already said hi to you, but yeah, I'll find something. It's just going to take time, and like I said, I'm going to be a little bit more uh particular about the job that I accept this time. Hi, Doug. Hi, poor man. How are you? It's good to see you here too. There you go. This is Rob's link, and the previous one was for Gnomestead. Ira says, "Are you interested in traveling to work or working remotely?" Working remotely, Ira. I would like to continue to work from home if at all possible, especially during winter months. That way I don't have to worry about how bad the roads get or if I get snowed into my driveway. And Heather says, I like the tangerine paint in your kitchen. It threw me at first, but I really like it. It's definitely not my color, but it suits your kitchen. Well, thank you. Yeah, I know that a lot of times people are not big fans of, rich colors or bright colors. And one person did comment that they didn't really care for it. They said that it looked too modern, and I'm not sure if they were talking about the color in general or just the shelves leading into the pantry. And those shelves are going to get an additional treatment, which will hopefully help to make them look a little bit older and fit the cabinet a little bit more. They do kind of stand out right now. So Delia's asking about the detergent recipe. I did a video a long time ago regarding a homemade detergent recipe that is chemical free. It's a dry recipe, but it works fantastic. And to be honest with you, when I was using traditional detergents that you would buy off the shelf, I never felt like my clothes were clean. They always had such a strong perfume to them that it was kind of um, overwhelming and would give me a headache. And my whites never actually came out white. But since I have produced this laundry detergent, my clothes come out super clean. They smell fresh for months. It doesn't matter if I leave them hanging in the closet months later, they still smell fresh. They don't smell perfumey or like detergent. And my whites come out super white. They come out so white that they actually look like they're brand new, even if they're years old. So socks, bedding, it doesn't matter what it is, it all comes out perfectly white. So I will see if I can find the video and I'll let you know what video that is, Delia. But I think it's like episode 11, I think is the video. Yep. I definitely know JR is a kidder. He's got quite the sense of humor. Totally good week. Hello, everyone, wherever you are. Thanks, Donna. I'm sure everyone appreciates that. Kenai is doing great. Clint, he is just like I said, wanting my attention and not wanting me to be so loud. He's used to the quiet here in the cabin. And you know I'm good for that big old boy. He's a sweetie for sure. First one was Nomi's. That's what I thought, Rob. Thank you for that. Hello, Frank. How you doing? From Arizona. Nice. Hey, Ed. How are you doing? Ed says, my father used to put me in a tire and tumble me downhill. Those were the good. Oh my goodness. Always with the jokes. And there is Bill Dixon's link. Thank you, Rob, for doing that. Jeep Girl says she loves the paint too. That's awesome. I appreciate that. It makes me feel good to know that it's not just me and that others actually think that it looks nice. So, and Ed's channel link. JR says he was watching Ed's channel, the latest video when the live started. Poor timing on my part. Yeah, poor timing on all of our parts. We're just overlapping each other. But at least Ed was able to get his video posted. He's been working a lot of overtime. So it's nice that he was able to get some video time in. Yeah, Beth, it's like I said, it's a fantastic laundry detergent. Hello, Betty K. Glad you're here. You can always watch it twice. That's what I plan on doing. It's always nice to just let the people that I follow let their channels just play in the background while I do things. I can hear them, and when something catches my ear, I'll turn and look at the camera or the screen. But I love to let people's channels just play in the background, and that way the ads play too, and I know they're making some revenue off of it. Yep, Rob says he's still new to doing mod. Me too. I tried to help Bill out the other night. There was some issues with YouTube and his live stream couldn't go through, but you know, eventually we'll all get there where it's all working for all of us. Hi Patricia, how are you doing? From the Adirondacks. All my rooms in my house, she says, are different colors. I like color and variety. Have a great week. I hope you have a great week. And yeah, I agree. There's going to be a lot of color in this cabin. It's been pretty monotone. You have to excuse me. I'm going to sit on my foot. I'm very guilty of sitting like a child in a chair. I never sit properly. Big Al says, I've never seen mosquitoes that size in my life when I was working on the pipeline in the 70s. Yeah, so the further north you go towards the Arctic Circle, the mosquitoes are bigger. They're literally about an inch, inch and a half big. And the mosquitoes, at least in the area of Alaska that I live, they're smaller. They're like your typical mosquito that you would see down in the lower 48. So pretty interesting, though, how big they are. And the swarms, it's literally like a giant gray cloud of mosquitoes when you go further north. Bill says, I probably wouldn't have chosen that color. However, seeing it if applied, I wonder what's wrong with me because it turned out beautiful. So I know somebody, I'm not going to call them up by name, but I know somebody who painted their home um, a pale seafoam green and a pale peachy orange. And everyone who walks into their house gets hungry for sherbet. So I think you have to have an eye for color and to be a little bit daring to paint bright colors for sure. Himself says, Bigfoot, my kiddos, a fan, maybe something near you. We're in Washington State. So far, I haven't seen any tracks. I haven't heard anything. Every night when I sit up in my bedroom and look out the door, I'm constantly looking and wondering if and when I will ever see anything. But so far, nothing So who knows? Maybe one day there will be a Bigfoot or some other creature come out of those woods. Hey, Ashley. Ashley says you could stay on your own detergent company and just stay home that way. I've thought about that too. I really have. Years and years ago, I developed a cleaner, a scrub agent, and a friend of mine says, you can't sell that. You just put a couple of things together, that anybody can buy at the store. You can't sell that as your own product." And I was like, "Of course you can. That's how all products are made." And it was about 2 months after I came up with this idea that Soft Scrub came out, and I was like, "There it is, very similar, only mine didn't contain bleach." So, hey, Patricia, how are you doing? Delia says she loves the color too. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hello, Rose. Nice to you to be here with us tonight. JR says he hit the pause button on Ed's video, so he'll definitely be going back and watching it. Ed has a lot of interesting videos for anybody. So does Nomstead and Rob and Bill over at Last Frontier Homestead. Um, so I highly encourage everyone to go and check out their channels as well. Pine says she's got to run. See you next time. Bye, everyone. Got to feed the dog and the kitty. Well, I hope they enjoy their dinner, and I appreciate you popping in for a moment. And I appreciate anybody who's watching this on the replay after the live feed has ended too. So thank you very much for doing so. And hello, Steve. How are you doing? Steve says, if you get a chance to go hunting this fall, is there a chance that you could film some of it for us? Yes, that is my plan, is to be able not only to go hunting, but to bring you guys along for that as well. This time, though, I will definitely put up a warning in advance of the video because there are some people who watch my channel who don't appreciate hunting and just have a hard time watching that. So I will warn everyone in advance when it's going to show any hunting or killing or anything like that. But that's definitely my plan. And fishing too. I plan to bring you along for some fishing trips as well. Poor man says it was definitely episode 11 that I have the recipe, and the full recipe is in the description of that video, as well with all of my cooking videos. You can find all the recipes written in the written description below, and there's a playlist for all my recipes as well, and the detergent recipes in that playlist also. And thank you for doing that, poor man. Hello, Mr. the Giant Puppy. How are you doing tonight? And Drip Diva says, your laundry detergent recipe is great. I've been using it for a while now. Thanks. Good. I'm glad to hear others are using it. That's awesome. It says, I'm afraid of speed bumps. It's okay though. I'm slowly getting over them. Oh my goodness. Hello, Norm. Glad you could be here with us tonight. And there's poor man's channel link for everybody. Donna says, I love the color right along my colors. I really like rich colors. Yeah, I like rich colors too. And like I said, I'm really a huge fan of the 18th and the 19th century. When I was growing up, one of my favorite shows was the original TV series of the Wild Wild West. Absolutely in love with that show. And I can't say if I was more in love with James Conrad and Artemis Gordon. I don't remember the gentleman who played Artemis Gordon, or if it was the, lavish decorating that they had in the show, but absolutely one of my all-time favorite shows was The Wild Wild West, and they had such rich colors and fabrics. Ashley says Ed's on a roll. He's always on a roll. He's got the best jokes, though. I love dad jokes. I don't know why, but I think they're hilarious. Big Al says, very cool chat. I'll be back next time. I've got to pack for a trip to Augusta for the Masters. See you next time. Well, thanks for popping in, Big Al, and have fun at the Masters. Have you made any future plans from or for the cabin? Yes, I have some plans definitely in the works, some talks with my contractor. I let him know as soon as I lost my job that we'd have to pause on the plans that I had for this coming summer, which was to put an extended roof line over and in front of the Arctic entry, and then wall that off with a woodshed on the north side and some fencing, if you will, so that it could act as a dog run, and as along with putting in the balcony on the back of the cabin. So those things are on hold. This year, though, I plan on building some internal storage. I did a video 2 videos ago regarding the internal storage that I plan on building in the cabin, some custom furniture pieces. And then also, I am having the back of the property leveled out this summer, and I will be putting in a garden. Originally, I thought I was just going to do a container garden because I thought that that work probably wouldn't take place until later in the summer. But the individual who will be doing that work for me has said that he will be doing it probably at the end of this month, beginning of May, and the garden can't go until the beginning of June anyhow. So I might actually get an in-ground garden in this year. Fingers crossed. That's what I would prefer over a container garden. So thanks for asking. That's a great question. Hello, Chris. How are you doing tonight? He says cedars in Alaska are so bad that it was several years before I noticed a bite after I returned to the lower 48. Yeah, they're horrific. They they're just nonstop in the summer months. And last year, I had purchased some aerosol cans of what's called a fogger, and you can get a machine that can do the same thing. It'll fog an entire area. Sometimes it's a chemical that they're spraying, and sometimes it's just essential oils, essentially, that create a cloud, and they'll keep the mosquitoes away for an extended period of time. The aerosol cans only do it for about 15 to 20 minutes, but at least it gives you a little bit of a reprieve. But the mosquitoes are so intense here that they'll fly right into a bonfire and come right out of it and attack you. They're not warded off by the smoke or anything. And there's Big Al's YouTube channel. Thank you, Rob, for doing that. Hello, Dave. How are you doing tonight? Glad you could be here. The alert said that you were going live at 1 a.m. on the 4th. That's very interesting. I'm going to have to look into that one. I Yeah, this was the only live I had scheduled, and I made sure that it said 5 PM tonight. So I'm gonna have to look into seeing what that, alert was all about. Clint says, "What do you plan on doing if you find Bigfoot?" Filming him. If I can get him to sit down for an interview, that would be fantastic. But no, I plan on hopefully getting it on camera. Um and hopefully everyone, doesn't think, oh, it's totally edited. She's got, some editing skills behind her. Hello, RM. How are you doing tonight? Mount or Ed says, I'm giving all the accolades to my friend Jack Daniels for tonight's performance. Oh my goodness. How often and how far do you need to travel for food essentials and other household supplies? I have a couple of options. One is that I can go to Glen Allen, which is about an hour away. However, the prices at the food store there are outrageous. They're twice as much as what I would be paying if I went to Valdez, which is about 2 hours away. Or I can go into Anchorage or Fairbanks, which is about a 4.5 to 5 hour drive. Um, and then I have a variety of stores that I can shop at there. So quite a few options. It's just a matter of what am I really seeking and how much do I really want to pay and how far do I really want to drive to get it. Hey John, how are you doing? Came in from splitting firewood. That is a good workout. Keeps you in shape for sure. Let's see here. Rob says he should blame the gin. Oh goodness. JR says, can't forget your friends Jack, Johnny, and Jose. Yeah, sometimes Jose's not a friend of mine, though, that's for sure. Actually, I'm not a drinker, to believe it or not. Despite all that alcohol you saw in my last video, all that came from my parents' house. And I really just, I can't handle hard alcohol. It doesn't suit me well. And Delia, you are quite welcome for the information. I hope you find the laundry detergent to be quite beneficial to you. Norm says it definitely looks nice. Thank you, Norm. I appreciate that. And there's John's channel link. Thank you, Rob. Excuse me, I'm gonna cough again. This time it is just from not talking all day. Ashley says, I used to be very familiar with his influences. Oh my goodness. Hello, Josefa. How are you doing tonight? Do you like turquoise color? Yes, I do like the turquoise color. Um, I pretty much like all the colors in the spectrum. Um, when I was a kid, my mother, painted all the bedrooms in bright colors. The rest of the house was just a neutral beige or taupe color. But she painted my room bright yellow. And for the longest time, I couldn't stand yellow, blue, or like I don't know, like a 1970s brown. I don't know what the color brown would be. It was like a muted but dark brown. Those colors I could not stand. And now I actually like them. So it took me a while to appreciate some of the colors. Clint says, Oy vey, that was back a little. Yes, it was. It definitely was. Wild Wild West was the best show, though. Hi, Susan. How are you doing tonight? ET says, What's up? What's up, ET Dawn? Thanks for joining tonight. RM says, watch a planning to grow. What am I planning to grow in the garden? So far, I have started cabbages as well as leeks and green onions, as well as some Japanese pumpkin squash. And those have all started to sprout except for the leeks. The leeks are going to take a little bit longer, but everything is starting to sprout, which is nice. And then in addition to that, I'll be doing potatoes, carrots, beets, and peas for sure. I might try some other vegetables, but at least I know that's the mainstay for this year's garden. John says he's doing that about every other day. Jumanji skeeters. Yes, Susan, that is correct. They are dinosauric for sure. Rob says he needs another 5 cords of wood. So this year I bought 9 cords of wood, and here we are in April, and I think I have just under 2 cords left. So I went through more wood than I thought I would this year, but it's still early in the year, and so we'll see how much wood I have left by the time August rolls around next year. Last year I had 1 cord out of 8 that I had purchased originally left, but I know that Christmas weekend when I let the oil burner deplete of its fuel source, that I burnt through a ton of wood in that alone. That weekend I burnt through basically a week's worth of wood in 1 week. Hello, Matt. How are you doing? That says it can't decide what's worse, early season giant bird skaters or the super tiny ones at the end of the season. Yeah, luckily, I only have those super tiny ones, but what I'm glad is that I don't have no-see-ums. So if you're closer to the coast, they have no-see-ums, and those are worse. I think they're an annoyance. Jeep Girl says, "Would have loved my mom's house," or she says, "I would have loved her mom's house. Two-story old Victorian, red chandelier, and flocked wallpaper." Yes. I would have absolutely loved that. When I was growing up, my family also had an old Victorian house, not the one that I grew up in, but one of my family members, and when they sold that house, I was heartbroken because it was so adorable. It had so much character, and that's one of the things I really love in a house is age and character. JR says to, DF Hefner, "Check out the time on your computer, it uses that for your local." That's good to know. John says, "Do you fly the drone yourself from video footage?" Actually, no. Some of my video footage has been taken by Aaron Raymond, who is, building a lot of this. He did some for me, and then also a lot of the drone footage that I get is either stock footage that I pay for, or it is Creative Commons from other YouTube creators who make their video footage available for reuse, free of charge, and all of the video footage that I show, or I should the vast, vast majority of the video footage that I show that is not my own is of Alaska. I do my absolute best to make sure that I'm showing Alaska so that you're getting the truest representation of Alaska as possible. Hello, Heather. I am doing fine. I hope you are too. Hello there, Michael. How are you doing? Glad you could join us. Heather says, "Hope you don't mind. I'm cooking up some bacon and egg for a belated Berkey." Um, or as it's 11:30 AM, so it's maybe lunch. I don't mind, but I wish we could share. That sounds delicious. I love bacon and eggs. Even if the eggs don't really agree with me, I still eat them. Absolutely still eat them. Rob's asking Matt if he worked for the train. Hello, or actually saying hello to Not So Remote. And Matt is saying, "No, I took that pic a number of years ago, just like it for the banner." Chris says, "Minnesota's official state bird is the common loon, and the unofficial state bird is the mosquito, just like Alaska's, but I think yours is bigger." Definitely near the Arctic Circle, they do, that's for sure. And there is Not So Remote channel link. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, Rob is a whistle stopper. His, cabin is very near the, train that runs along on the other side of the state, which is very cool. Hello, Judy. Judy says, "That red was just what my kitchen needed. The dining room is shaker red from a historic collection." Oh, that's awesome that your, dining room is the shaker red. I absolutely love primitive furniture as well, and I'm looking for some chairs to match my dining room table and for the living area. Even though the living area will have a Japanese theme to it, I would also like a lambing chair. I know that if you were to look up what a lambing chair is, I'll try to show one in one of my next videos. You would probably think it looks like the most uncomfortable chair, but I like wing back chairs, and I don't mind a hard surface to sit on. And so to me, they look like they would be perfect for falling asleep in. Hello, Race in Alaska. Thank you for the compliment on the kitchen. I hope you're doing well tonight. Poor man says, "Sorry, everyone, I screwed up. It's episode 19." Okay, episode 19 on the laundry detergent. Nonetheless, I appreciate you checking that out for me, poor man, and putting that up for everybody. Doug says, "Can you get a drone for airdrops at your or close to your property?" I asked because it seems like it might be more economical to do a quarterly or yearly drop for all your supplies. I'm sure that I could, do that. But generally, when I'm running into, say, Anchorage or Fairbanks, I'm running a bunch of errands. I'm not just doing a grocery haul or anything like that. I'm also taking care of, disposing of my trash at the transfer station, or I'm making a stop at the hardware store and picking up things like that, that I need for projects on the cabin. But I know other people in Alaska who definitely are doing that, and it's working out well for them. Heather says, "Did you say you were using the other paint color for?" I did not say what I was using it for, but it will be in an upcoming video for sure. So, you'll have to stay tuned to figure out what I use that green paint for. John says, "I've made the same excuse for all the booze in my cabin." Yeah, I've said before in videos that, all that liquor is medicinal or for recipes, and I got so many giggles about saying that it was medicinal, and Ed says his favorite color is black. Why do I not doubt that? There is Race in Alaska's channel link for those of you who are interested. It says marigolds in the garden, along with the veggies helps keeps the bugs at bay. This is true. Marigolds will keep nematodes, predatory nematodes that will destroy your plant, that is. Not there's predatory nematodes that will attack other insects, and then there's nematodes that will attack your plant. And marigolds will keep those as well as I believe, I just forgot what they're called, grubs away from your plant. So yeah, nematodes and nasturtiums, and believe it or not, radishes, if you let your radish plants just go to seed, those radishes will also keep a lot of, harmful insects out of the garden as well. And Iris says, "I love growing leeks and they grow great in potato and they go great in potato soup." I agree. Leeks, I think, are phenomenal. I'm so glad that I can eat them since I really can't eat onions without having a reaction. Leeks are phenomenal, and potato soup is delicious. That's what I should cook up tonight. Because yeah, all you guys talking about food, I'm gonna be hungry. Chris says, "Should be able to overwinter the leeks." Should be. I'm wondering, though, because it gets so low here with, like, -45, or colder, how they would do, especially underneath so much snow and ice. Um, but nonetheless, I I freeze all of my leeks, so I have leeks throughout the season, and I hydrate or freeze my green onions as well. So I haven't had a problem with running out of leeks or onions yet. Hope I don't either. Rob says Sarah started some stuff a few days ago. I hope it all comes up well for you guys. Annette says my childhood bedroom was Pepto-Bismol pink, and I can't stand the color anymore. That's how I felt about blue and yellow. It was like, I don't ever want to see those colors. So I probably won't, well, I shouldn't say that. I was say I probably won't ever paint a room yellow, but I will actually. I have some that's gonna be going up as well. But blue is a color I probably would never paint into my home. And Heather's asking about the job hunt. It's going slow. I've had a couple more interviews uh, last week, and I have one scheduled for later this week. And then I had a job offer, but it just didn't really pan out. Pay wasn't good, and then there were some requirements of the job that just didn't go for me, so I decided to pass on that one. But I'm sure something will come along good, at the right moment. Rob says, "Out new house our new house is not underpinned, it has no insulation under under or on the floor, so we have used more than we probably would have." So I put that Reflectix, like Boss of the Swamp did, underneath the rafters in the cellar, and there's one little area that I didn't get to, and that one area, the floor is absolutely freezing to walk across, like, feet just all the cold radiating upwards, but the rest of the floor is warm. I don't have any cold, coming up from the cellar right there, and if I were to put that layer that I have right against the floor on the underside, but another layer rafters, it would have an R value of 23. You can do that, it'll save a lot, having a much more cabin. Hello, Dennis, how are you doing? From Delta Junction. I love Delta Junction. So those of you who don't know Delta Junction, as if you're heading toward Fairbanks along the Richardson Highway, it's just a small town, but it's a lot of character. I It says no CMs are horrible. They're here in South Indiana. Yes, leave it. Hello, CM Bethel. How are you also loves the pink color. That's good to hear. My reception, or is everyone's sound very choppy? Now, let me know if the sound is choppy. Again, might be directional, so if I'm turning my head up and down to the side, that might have something to do with it. So let me know if you're having this sound tonight. It says, "Yes, Balloon is the state bird here, but or is it?" My goodness. Sound is choppy. Okay, I will try to keep my face pointed at the microphone. Delia said, "What are the prices for beer? I just bought, um, 3 your 25-pound bag for $79 at Petco." Yikes. Last year, I bought a 40 bag of Negro, which is grain-free brand, and that cost me $50 for that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it is this year. Hello, Rosemary. How are you doing? Says she loves the color, at the back of your kitchen shelves. Awesome. Thank you very much for the compliment on the color. 30 miles southwest of Fairbanks, where I once lived, the Alaska mosquitoes are large, plentiful, and aggressive. Yes, they are. When I came out here to look at property, I stopped at, I don't know, some pullover near Fairbanks. I rolled the window down 'cause I wanted to take some video of the mosquitoes, and it was a mistake. I should never have done it because from a birds coming in the car, they're so big. Heather wants to know how Kenai is doing. He's doing just fine, right? Cough, cough. Uh, Kenai is doing just fine. He is, good as ever, but he is in the other room tonight. Yeah, that's why I have the door open. I feel bad for him locking here, but my hair is still kind of the same color as the door behind me. It says, "We have lots of loons closer you get to Minneapolis." The loons are gorgeous, though, and I love the sound of the loon. I wish that I had on the pond behind my cabin. Uh, that sound and, the frog in the morning is the most beautiful. Clint says, "Y'all talking about the mosquitoes just got hit bit by 2. I blame you all." Oh my and this is Rob's channel link for everybody that's interested. Be sure to check him out and thank him for moderating me. Timothy, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Dennis says, she's on the road driving 140 or so miles to town once a season is cheaper. Yeah, it costs me because I fill up, I always take it about half full. So I fill up before I leave the Glen Allen area before heading back. It cost me roughly about $250 depending upon fuel at the time. But a helicopter in this area would be about $400 is my understanding. It could be more, but what I believe that it would cost. And there is Numstead's channel link. Thank you for doing that, Rob. Ira says, I noticed a big jar of Nutella in your kitchen. That's delicious. Yes, Nutella is delicious. I like to eat Nutella with things that you probably wouldn't expect. But whatever I have on hand that looks like it'll go good in the Nutella at the moment is usually how I eat it. John says my voice is breaking up. So again, it's just me looking away from the camera when I do that. Hello, Christopher. Nice of you to be here tonight. Long time no see. Glad you're hanging around. It says, uh-oh, sorry, Doug. Well, present company excluded, of course. And there's Poor Man's YouTube channel. Timothy says, again, hello. Love your videos. Thank you very much, Timothy. I appreciate that. There's John in Alaska's channel link. Um, Clint was thinking that it was just him that the sound was bad. No, that would be me. JR, is it the network connection? It is the network connection, not her. Interesting. It could be. Earlier, right before I jumped on the live stream, my cellular signal went out completely, and so I was really praying that it was internet as well. So it could definitely be the connection. There's high winds out right now, so I'm hoping they don't knock the power line down. Hello, Timothy. How are you doing tonight? Sarah says, my 93-year-old mom from Turkey makes a delicious dish with leeks and hamburger and egg and breadcrumbs. That sounds delicious. And there is Bill from Alaska's Last Frontier Homestead. There's his channel link. Bill is normally the one who is helping to moderate my videos along with Dewey. Dewey does not have a channel, though. However, she's just a great friend of mine from Colorado that has offered to help moderate. But she's putting in some extra hours with her employer right now, so she's unable to join. Hopefully, she'll be able to join later, though. Hello, Donna. Donna says, my oldest daughter makes a yummy twice baked potatoes. Oh, that sounds delicious too. And Mitchell Ellis, how are you doing tonight? And I am doing well. I hope you're doing well also. Oh, and hello, Connie. Thank you for joining. All right. Well, let me know if the sound's getting any better. And hello, Linda. Matt says it wasn't so bad earlier, but the sound has gotten a lot worse in the last couple of minutes. Interesting. In and out. That is very interesting. Well, hopefully the sound improves. And hello, Pam. Still choppy even when facing the mic. Interesting. And Rob's telling me the same thing. Hmm. Well, hopefully it improves. I apologize to everybody that there's a poor connection. And hello, Terry. Thank you for joining and commenting. Steve's calling Dewey in. Oh my goodness. Hello, Dog Man. How are you doing tonight? Christopher Voigt says that the sound is so bad he can't understand much. Oh, that is not good. Let me I don't know what I can do about it. I could try to hook up my other mic maybe. Let me try to do that and see if that will improve anything. Give me one moment here, folks. without disconnecting their original camera. Maybe. There we go. All right, let me know if that gets better, or not. I hope so, but, no guarantee here. Heather says, "Just for your info alone, it is pointless me listening to you now as the sound is so bad, I can't understand the words you're saying. I'm not complaining, just concerned for your video reaching people." I appreciate that. So again, let me know if the other microphone helps with the sound at all. I don't know why the sound is not cooperating tonight. Clint says, "Do you think that's just how I talk?" Maybe. MP says, "Really bad audio." Hmm. Hello, Charlie Grace. Not very much says, "I use about 1 cord of wood per cabin each year." That's not bad, but your cabins must be rather small in comparison to where Rob and I live, or the cabins that we have. So mine is about 2,500 square feet, and I do go through quite a bit of wood, but I use it primarily as my heat source also. Iris says, "We have a very hungry, aggressive gnats here in South Florida. They love the intense heat and humidity, at least where you have the insects die during the winter." Not so the mosquitoes die, but the flies do not. It's over 40 degrees. I'll have black soldier flies, in the, moths do not die, and there are some other small flying insects, I don't know what they are, um, that I can see in the colder parts of the cabin in the wintertime. And then also, spiders are here year round. We don't have venomous spiders here, but we have these little tiny brown house spiders that kind of look like a male black widow. They're harmless, but they're here year round as well. Doug is also saying audio is bad. Dogman says it's only 2023, folks. Internet is not 2056 levels. Yes, that is correct. Especially here, I'm on DSL, and that is, you know, I think has an overhead power line, and with the wind, that might have something to do with it as well. And there is Ed's channel link for everybody. RM says, "Must be the connection because sound still cuts out even when you're aimed straight at the camera." That's okay. I miss your remote life. Yep. Hello, Charles. How are you doing tonight? Document says he's choppy. Mrs. Smith, thank you for joining. Even if you're late, I appreciate you being here. Matt says, "Losing entire words from the audio. That's not good. Have you given any thought to a whole house generator for when the winds knock the power out?" I have given thought to it, something that would have to wait because the, cost of it is just too much for me at this moment. But, I've thought about getting a Blue Yeti or a lithium ion generator battery backup system as well, and that's probably gonna be what I do as opposed to the whole generator. RM says, "No need to apologize, not my fault." Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Doug says, "Give everyone a break and refresh your modem and router." If I stop the modem or router, believe it or not, it'll stop the live stream. I guess I could probably go back in. I'm not sure how to do it. Maybe I just need to disconnect the camera for a second. Give me 1 second and let's see if that will work. And then, all right, can you see me? Can you hear me? Hopefully that's better for everybody. Norm says, "You will get history solved. Just try various levels and types." Lighting issues resolved, various issues and types. Yeah, I need to get some better studio lights. I need to get some better lighting in the cabin as well. Right now there's no overhead lights anywhere except for in the dining room and the kitchen. Dogman says, "Go in the closet and stand on your head. That'll fix the internet." Iris says she can hear me fine. That's good. Rob says, "Our cell and internet signal has been real strange here in the past few days. Around this time every day it gets wonky." Very interesting. Chehar's also calling Dewey. Yes, Dewey, Dewey, come here, Dewey, please, Dewey. Uh, Living in the forest. Sounds fine here in Oregon. Okay, maybe it's fixed. Maybe it's fixed. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Yay. Yay, this is good. Okay. If you have a Bluetooth mic, charge it. I do not have a Bluetooth mic, unfortunately, at this moment. Your tone is still lovely, though. Oh, thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. People complain way too much today. Sometimes, yes. I think we're all guilty of it at times. Oh, good. I'm glad that it's better. That's nice. DSL network collisions. Yes, that's what I think it is. Nick says we can hear you enough at least. That's good. Is it's not the mic, your internet is going in and out. Yes, probably the wind. Probably the wind more than anything. Thank you, Dennis, for the donation. That's awesome of you. I really appreciate it. That every little bit helps for sure. And then it says, I have Starlink and it's working pretty well, but there are down times where there are holes, 5 to 20 minutes in the satellite coverage where you get nothing. They're putting more satellites every week, though it has, and it has improved. Well, that's good. I can see some of the Starlink satellites behind me at night. And I've thought about switching over to Starlink, and that might still happen. So it's good to get some feedback on that. Dogman says my cabinet is four squeak 4 square feet, and I'm happy. That would be pretty tiny, 4 square feet. And MP says new mic is much better. Awesome. Yay. Audio is not that bad, just broken up a little bit still. My Starlink picks you up just fine, Dogman says. Good. A little better sound with second mic. It looks like you see comments several minutes after we post. Yeah, and I'm probably way behind in the comments too, to be quite honest. So I apologize. Big T says, toasting you with a cup of green tea I made in the coffee maker. Oh, that sounds good too. I love tea. Good. And Dennis gave another $20. Thank you very much. Take my money and get a new mic or Starlink. I will definitely get a better webcam, and I'm working on better internet for sure. So I appreciate it again, nonetheless, Dennis. Thank you very much. Uh, yes, thank you, Rob, for also thanking him. Hello, Jerry Kirk. How are you doing tonight? And Debbie says, checking in late from Kentucky. Better late than never. I'm glad you're here regardless. And remember, these are always available after the fact. If ever you can't make it to one of the live streams, you can watch it on a replay. So thank you to each and every one of you for watching. Steve says, you need to keep the string tight when you are talking with the tin can telephones. That's the problem, is I keep letting that can get slack in the line. Oh my goodness. And Rob's offering to show me how to do a lithium battery setup for backup. Perfect. That would be good because I am a novice when it comes to electricity. I don't understand it, and I'm, to be honest with you, I'm a little bit scared of like doing a whole solar setup with battery. It's intimidating to say the least. RM is saying that he can hear me now. Hello, Carolina, or Caroline. Sorry. Hello, Caroline. How are you doing? She says, I admire you for following your dreams to live in the wilderness, and you don't appear to be lonely. But have you considered taking in a renter for companionship? I have not considered taking in a renter. I've had several people suggest that I turn my bunkhouse into an Airbnb, or that I set up camping on my property. However, I'm really not entertaining the idea of doing so. I actually really like being out here by myself. I like the solitude. I like the peace and the quiet, and not having to worry about making sure that someone else is tended to, because that's my nature. When I have guests or people who live with me, I want to make sure that their every need is tended to. And so I become a little bit overzealous, I think, with it sometimes. And this allows me to have some moments to myself and not feel like I'm depriving somebody of anything that they might need. So, but I do understand where the thought comes from for sure. And Dogman says, "Here is how to fix bad connection. You put your left foot in your left foot out and do the hokey pokey and shake it all about." Oh my goodness. Uh, Connie says the positive is that there isn't a problem all of the time. That's good. I'm glad that it was intermittent and maybe the winds will die down. That will help. Thank you, Doug, for reminding everybody to just be patient. And I appreciate everybody who is sticking around regardless of the sound issues. It does mean a lot to me. Hello, LDS. The voice keeps breaking, so it's still an issue. It's got to be the wind causing an issue with the internet connection. CM Bethel says, I can see and hear you. Glad job hunting seems to be going well. Fingers crossed you find a great job. I agree. Delia, it's not good. You're in and out. Sorry, but I will keep you on. Thank you. I appreciate it. And there is Steve, Woodworking and Homestead channel link for everybody who's interested. Sam Bethel says it's nice to have some downtime and get projects done. I agree, and it's really helping me because when I was working so many hours, I was falling farther and farther behind on things I needed to get done around the cabin. And I've taken the last month to really get caught up on some things around here and to start diving into some of the projects that I need to get done as well. And that just, makes me feel that much better. So, but I'm sure that I'll be back to work before I even know it. So I'm going to enjoy it while I can. Steve is telling me to stop worrying about the small details. You look great and you take the time to talk with us. Thanks for that. You are welcome and thank you for being here regardless. E.T. Don says maybe the hamsters are on the wheel or getting tired, causing your voice to go in and out. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Um, yes, all in good time. I agree. Dogman says the higher you put a Starlink dish, the better it works. I live in a national forest and it's awesome. Well, that's good to know too. I actually sit pretty high up on a ridge, and then of course having a tall cabin, I'm sure that I could get it up above the cabin, and I should be doing or be able to get good signal. So fingers crossed, one day I'll get there. Jared says most connections are done by microwave towers, and wind will move them around. And um, MW is a very narrow beam. I'm not sure what MW is. Oh, microwave. Duh. Got it. Hello, Danny from Florida. Thanks for joining tonight. Ira says, I'm sure you do not want it, but are you seeing any signs of development and population increase in your region due to the discontentment of the government in the lower 48? I'm not seeing it in the area where I live, and part of that probably has to do with the fact that there are no services where I live, or very few services. But I do believe that Alaska is definitely seeing an increase of population, regardless. And there is talk of some industry moving in further north of me, but I think it's a rumor, and I don't know if it's actually going to happen or who it is that's planning on going in. But there is some talk of some industry coming over to this side of the state, so we'll have to see. Dogman says Bigfoot's at his door and wants more beans. Be right back. Hello, Kevin. How are you doing from Chicago? And there's Dogman's channel link. Heather says, I went out and came back in again, and this time it's much clearer. Perseverance is a foundation stone in my life. Lovely to hear you again. I am glad that it's better. I'm glad that you decided to come back in and check it out. I appreciate that very much. John says, I just rigged my van with solar panel and 2 lithium ion batteries. I saw that, and I am quite impressed, actually. Um, yeah, like I said, I've watched videos and watched videos and watched videos about it, and every time I do, I'm just like, I don't get it. I would be so afraid to even start. Uh, isn't much better about dysfunctional government. That's true. Alaska has its own issues, and things are at times tending to go in a direction where nobody wants them to go. And some of the things that you're seeing in the lower 48 are still happening here in Alaska. Some of the new agenda. I'll just put it that way. We have the same issues here. The only nice thing about Alaska is that there are parts of Alaska, like where I live, where you are not subject to a local government, but you're still under state control. And the other nice thing about Alaska is that we are a 2A sanctuary state. But we still have red flag laws and things like that. So there are other issues in Alaska that you're still seeing elsewhere. And Rob is saying, can get away with using batteries as backup and not need solar if you don't want to, just need batteries and an inverter. That's what I'm thinking is just batteries and an inverter. I really don't want to do the solar because in the wintertime, I don't think it's going to do me much good. And it's a cost that I don't really want to outlay. And I don't want to have things around the cabin that are eventually going to fail that I can't repair myself. That means I have to find a way to dispose of them. So I want to try to avoid solar if I can. And Dogman is thanking you for putting his channel up. So thank you, dog. I'm as crazy as she is. That's why we get along so well, Dogman. And by the way, Dogman, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you still have some puppies that you're trying to find homes for. So if anybody's needing a puppy, check out Dogman's channel. JR says the good thing about being patient is you don't have to do anything, right? Sound is 100 times better. Yay. And thank you, Sam Bethel, for reminding everyone to give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Clint wants to know how this solar is working for you, and the lithium ion batteries don't like the cold weather. That is correct. That is correct. Sound good, bad sound. Just happy to have the opportunity to chat with us. I am happy that you guys are all sticking around regardless. Thank you, Dennis. Maybe it was your donations that helped get me there. We'll, we'll thank you for it. We'll believe that it was your donation that helped. Steve says, never rent, one lawsuit, and you are homeless. Is the chance worth everything that you worked so hard for? Don't do it. Yeah, it's the same reason why I wouldn't do Airbnb, even though they have things to protect you. I've heard nightmare stories about people doing Airbnb service or I forget what the other one's called. But yeah, I really don't want to take the chances of doing so. And Rob says, 64 of us in here and only 25 likes. Yeah. I appreciate everyone who gives it a like. So if you're doing it, perfect. Thank you very much for doing so. Hello, Mike. How are you doing? Thank you, Ashley. Heather says it's not complaining, it's advising alone that her video is not going to be reaching people who don't know her channel. We're troubleshooting it with her. And I appreciate that very much. Like I said, I'm all about constructive criticism and for those people who are pointing out things that can easily be resolved or might be able to be troubleshooted. So thank you, Heather, for that. And also thank you, poor man, for looking out for me as well. I appreciate both of you. And Susan says, the kitchen is lovely. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. I wouldn't kick her off my table for belching. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hello, Anneli. How are you doing? North of Sweden here. The sound is great. Must be blowing my way. I'm glad to know that you can hear me just fine. That's good. I think when you reset the modem, your connection took a different route to the ISP. Audio is good now. So all I did was unplug the camera and replug it back in. I didn't touch the modem at all because, believe it or not, that's in another room. I would have to leave the room to do so. So it's just the camera. So maybe that took care of it. John is saying that his solar is working great and he will remove the batteries during winter. Same thing here when I store my chainsaw in the car during the winter months. One of my chainsaws, the one that I carry in the vehicle, is lithium ion battery powered, and I bring that battery in the cabin overnight. And then when I leave, I put it back in the truck so that I can take it with me and I don't have to worry about the cold affecting it. And Bill, glad you're back for a few seconds. By the time I get back around to you, you'll probably be gone again. Matt says the U.S. Census Bureau estimated Alaska last year lost population last year. I believe that, but I think this year that I think there's an uptick just from the amount of videos I'm seeing about maybe it's just an uptick in people posting videos about moving to Alaska and everyone wanting to do the YouTube thing, which to be honest with you, I think everyone should do YouTube, not just me, but everybody should do YouTube because we're all curious about each other. We all are voyeurs in some way or another, but also because it is a lot of fun for one, and you do have the potential to make some money. And if your channel grows, you have the potential to make quite a bit of money. So I think everybody should do it. It's honestly a great hobby, if nothing else. Clint saying, seeing a lot of people having trouble with their batteries in the cold. I believe that. Hello, Wendy. How are you doing? She says, I'm somewhat new to the channel. I've been binge watched all of your videos as a couple months ago. It was a dream to live in Alaska. The grandkids keep me here in Wisconsin. Well, hopefully you're living vicariously through me. Excuse me, and the other YouTube channels that you'll see here in the chat tonight. That's what our channels are all about, is helping those of you that would like to live this lifestyle and maybe cannot, or eventually we'll get to, that we can help you in that path regardless. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. So Dogman does have puppies that need to be homed, and he says, I rescued a scared pregnant mama dog and she has had pups. Hello, Jacket Sprockets. Nice of you to join tonight. I'm glad to see you here. And Dogman says, I like dogs on my land, not people from Boston doing their Airbnb. Yep. That's one of the things is like, I don't mind when friends and family come out and stay with me, but when you are renting to somebody, like if you're renting, again, you're going to interview them, you're going to know who they are. But when you're doing an Airbnb or a camp situation, you really don't know who those people are or what their intentions are. So that's another reason why I would just stay away from something like that. Hello, Steve. Nice of you to join. I'm glad you're loving it and loving it. 119 likes. That's sweet. Thanks, Steve. Rob says it went up. That's fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for hitting that like button. I really appreciate it. John saying he has 3 lithium ion batteries for his cabin and solar and never had a problem. That's fantastic. Uh, yes, vacation rental by owner. If you do this, need to set up a corporation to protect your personal assets. Yep. Even with YouTube, if you're setting up a YouTube channel, set up as a business first before you even start your channel, and set it up as an LLC, so that you're protected. That is the best thing to do. And there is, again, Ed's channel link for everybody over at Mountain Mariner. Donna says, sounds good. Sounds pretty good here in Washington State. Good. I'm glad. Thank you. And Dogman says that YouTube is actually paying his bills. That's fantastic. That is a dream right there for a lot of people, is to be able to do YouTube and to be able to live economically so that you can live off of that income. So that's awesome. And there is Bill's channel link for everybody. Bill over at Alaska's Last Frontier Homestead, who's popping in and out tonight. And John would like to know what the problem is with the lithium ion batteries that people are displaying when they talk about them. You do not want me to do YouTube, trust me. Oh, Clint, come on, play along. We're all curious. Matt says, I bought a GoPro so I can film stuff when I move to the Copper Landing this summer. So I have a GoPro as well. I love my GoPro for action shots. I love it when I'm walking with the camera, or if I'm driving with the camera. The GoPro is fantastic because it has that stabilization mode in it. But I don't like the GoPro when I'm trying to just film myself. It's just not, it doesn't work in my opinion as well, even though there's a bunch of different settings in there. But for action, the GoPro is fantastic. Most of the time I am filming with my iPhone, and I have a Canon M50. The only problem I have with the Canon is that it's not good for low light settings. So if you're planning on filming in the winter months in Alaska, make sure that you get a camera that can film in low light settings, that doesn't require studio lights or things like that, especially if you're going to be filming outdoors. Because the darkness here, even if you're in one of the areas that gets a few hours of daylight, it's still too dark for the camera settings. And Dogman saying, no tornadoes in Alaska tomorrow. We get a bad front. Oh no. Well, I hope that you'll be fine. And I hope a tornado does not make it to your doorstep, Dogman, or even to your property for that matter. John or Matt is saying, no problem at all with the batteries. Someone just asked if a ton of people were moving. Oh, up there. Oh, sorry, Matt. I was getting confused in the conversations. You're talking about people moving up, not the lithium ion batteries. My apologies. And RM says, what do you suggest equipment wise a person needs to get a YouTube channel started? Just your iPhone or your Android phone. That's all you really need. I mean, I know other people have channels that don't have, any additional camera equipment other than their phone, and they have been really successful on YouTube. Um, I myself have invested in different cameras so I can have different cameras filming at, different angles while I'm doing things, and different cameras that have different purposes, right? Like the GoPro being used for action shots. The iPhone has a stabilization mode in it, but it's not quite as good. But you can get a gimbal, which will help to stabilize as you're moving along. So if you go to the home page of my channel, which if you just click on my name underneath the videos, it'll at the bottom of my homepage, you'll see some links for some other channels that basically I watched when I first started YouTube that helped me to decide on camera equipment, other than the M50. That was a suggestion that came from a friend of mine. But helped me decide on camera equipment, helped me decide on editing equipment and how to edit my videos. So there's a lot of useful tutorials on YouTube as well, people that can definitely help you figure out, where to get started, and then you can take it in your own direction, which is fantastic, I think. Oh, and sorry about that. There is John in Alaska's YouTube channel link as well. Thank you, Rob. Dennis says, Alone, are you in a borough? We are not here in Delta. Borough equals property and sales taxes. No, thank you. I am not in a borough. So I don't have, any property taxes. I don't have any sales tax. I don't have any um, housing authority that would tell me I have to build by a building code or anything like that, which is one of the reasons why I decided to buy the property that I did, is because I didn't want any of that whatsoever. And Colorado Pack Rat, California passed a thing that you can't call their 600,000 in Los Angeles homeless. They are outside people now. I don't understand the changing of these words. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I was talking to my friend yesterday about some words that changed in the um, Merriam-Webster dictionary, and they make 0 sense now when you read the definition. Absolutely no sense. It's ridiculous. And building codes, that's right. No building codes when you don't have a borough. That is correct, and it's awesome. And Gnomestead's channel link again. Thank you, Rob. Dogman says, I'm setting up an air D&D, doggy daycare, I'm assuming. Drop off your dogs for a wild week of spoiling. That would be fantastic. I'll bring Kenai right over. Dogman says, I have 4 GoPros and undependable. Undependable. Yep. The other thing is I can't get my GoPro to like set up for the webcam. I just can't. My computer doesn't recognize it. Sometimes I can't get the files off of my GoPro SD cards. So there's a lot of things that you have to be aware of with the GoPros. And there is Bill at Not So Remote's channel link again. Thank you. And BE400A, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm not going to read the whole name. Good evening to you as well. Thank you for joining. And John in Alaska says, Matt said people are leaving Alaska, and I was wondering what the problem was. Lol. Yep, I'm a little behind in the times. Sorry about that, John. Homeless doesn't sound good. I get that homeless doesn't sound good, but let's be realistic about what things are. You know, that's my thing, is like skirting around the bush just to get to the same end result doesn't make sense to me. I understand that, we got to be nice and think about other people's feelings and what have you. Fine, but be real. That's that's my thing about these laws, is like it's free speech in America, free speech. And then that's what it should be, I believe. And Rob says the issue with the lithium is that they do not like the cold, and that they cannot be charged under 32 degrees and cannot be stored under -5 degrees. Yeah, or you'll ruin the cells in them. Yep. Clint says, I'm still using a Motorola flip phone. Got to pull the antenna out. Oh my goodness. Time to update. I'm surprised that thing's still going. Uh, Dennis would like to know where you're at, Dogman. Lithium can be discharged in cold, just can't be charged when freezing, as it will destroy them. That is good to know. Good to know. Matt says, oh, I already have a T6 DSLR and a Rode mic for other filming, plus the iPhone. I use to manage live streaming video meetings for my work. So I have some stuff already. That's fantastic. Then you're off to a great start, Matt. It'll be really good for you when you finally get your channel going. And again, there is Rob's channel link for everybody. Dogman says you need to be fun and have content that people watch and to start a channel. Yep. You need to be engaging. That's one of the things that I think I struggle with is being engaging and remember to smile. We all have that resting face that isn't all that pleasant. And sometimes I can be really um, monotone, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Um, I don't know what the other word would be that I'm looking for, but so sometimes I have to remind myself to smile. I have to remind myself to be engaging and to be, excited about the things I'm talking about because I am. I just need to show it outwardly. So a lot of times, what I do before I start a video is I actually think of something really funny before I start the video, and then I start at least with a smile on my face. If I don't do that, you can tell because the videos will start out and I'm like this. And nobody wants to see somebody who's just monotone, that's not a lot of fun for anybody. Ashley says, "Clint, I only upgrade because I'm so rough on them." Yep, that's how I am on my phones too, and I wind up, I'm surprised that I haven't broken the screen on my last 2 iPhones, so they must have improved the glass, but before it was always breaking the glass on my phones. And RM says, "Thanks very much for the good suggestions." You are welcome, very much so. JR says some moving to DJI action cameras that have heating problems with GoPro, but I think that is due to the cheap SD cards. Very interesting. Yeah, I just bought some action cameras. So when I went to GoPro, when I went to Best Buy a few weeks ago, that's what I picked up was some action cameras that I'm going to be using in some of my upcoming videos. So I'll let you know how they work. I haven't quite set them up yet, so need to do that. That's on my to-do list this week. Dogman is in Arkansas where he lives and has no codes in his area also, and he loves it. That's fantastic. And Melvin says, hope all is better and is going well. Everything is great, Melvin. Thank you very much for asking, and thanks for joining us tonight here in the chat. And Dogman says California has made their bed. Yes, they have. And thank you, LDS, for reminding people to hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate that. Rob says the gadgets that you can find for videos is nuts. Years ago, I had a few channels, and one was outdoor and film gear reviews. I still have all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. You can wind up investing a whole lot of money, but it's really not necessary to do so. Like I said, a lot of people just do it with minimal equipment and have been very successful on YouTube regardless. And Dogman saying never do a GoPro for a webcam. Yeah, I figured that out, but only because my computer won't accept it. And Ira says, I was curious about the approximate size of your property and if you have a woodlot. So I have 5 acres of land, but I am surrounded by state and federal lands. And so I won't ever have neighbors or anything or like that. But I always joke that I have 15 million acres because I back up to the Wrangell St. Elias National Park, which is over 15 million acres. So one of the things that I never liked when I lived in Colorado is that, your homes are taller than the fence line and you look out your back window and you can see right into your neighbor's yard. Here, I don't ever have to worry about somebody blocking my view of the mountains or being a straight eye shot from my kitchen window. So, which is nice. But the woodlot is basically all the trees that I'm surrounded by. and I do purchase wood, just because I haven't had the time myself or a trailer to haul wood with myself if I were to cut it down. But I buy wood from a gentleman over in the Matsu Valley. So about 5 hours away from where I'm at, about 4 hours really from where I'm at. JR says some people can't handle the brutal truth. This is true as well. Uh, Melvin saying Alaska Prepper says prices are going way up at the stores. That's scary because I'm going to be doing my grocery haul here pretty soon. I'm always worried when I do the grocery haul that the prices are going to be so high that it's going to scare me. Um, and they're not that bad. But like I said, I bought eggs the other day in Valdez. They were $6.50 thereabouts. And in Glen Allen, they were like $13. So $13 for a dozen eggs. That's a lot. And hello, Philip. Like I said, better late than never. So thank you for joining tonight. I'm glad you're here. And hello, Eileen O'Connell. How are you doing? She said, so if you don't understand something, it must be ridiculous. I'm subscribing. Goodbye. I'm not saying that I don't understand it. I'm saying that I don't agree with it. So, and if you don't agree with the things that I'm saying, more power to you. I wish you the best of luck in all of the things that you do. And Delia says, sorry, alone. I must go cook dinner and take out Samuel. Catch you later. Good night, Delia. Have a good evening. RM says, I agree. Free speech for all, not just those that can't handle the truth. Yep. Everyone. And I have no problem with somebody if they want to say outside people, more power to you, but you can't tell me that I can't say something because I live in America and I'm protected by the Constitution, which gives me the freedom of speech. So, and Dogman is in Arkansas for everyone. I thought I said that earlier, but just in case. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it. And Dogman does have a channel for everybody that is interested in seeing him and his puppies. His puppies are super cute. And Dogman, correct me if I am wrong, but don't you have two channels? You have Dogman Walks and Dogman. Two channels, I believe. One's a short channel and one is regarding the puppies and his life. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that. Dogman says he never smiles. I'm crazy and people love me. You do have a personality. I will give you that much. Steve said, the reason you can't say homeless is because it makes the politicians look bad. If you say outside people, it makes it sound like they chose to be out there. Exactly. Yep. And that's the thing is everything that we do in our lives, regardless of where you live, is by choice. And I know that doesn't, a lot of people don't like that, but you choose the actions that you take regardless of the situation that you're in. And you need to be responsible for the actions you take in life. That's the philosophy that I was raised by. That's the philosophy that I live by. So, and again, I'm not upset if somebody doesn't want to watch my channel. So more, and I wish you all the best in luck in life to everybody, regardless. And Donna says, truth is truth. You either have a home or you don't. Exactly. And Rob says, yeah, I should have never sold my camera gear from when I was a photojournalist. Yeah, I feel the same way. Though my camera gear that I had when I was younger, I took a photography course in high school. It was an old film camera, an old Ricoh 35 millimeter. I gave it to my son, and he got my mother's Ricoh as well. But I loved those cameras. Ricohs were my absolute favorite camera when I was in high school. That was a long time ago. Hello, Christina. How are you doing tonight? She says she just came in. Did you just start recently or have you been on for a while? I have been on for about an hour and a half now, Christina. And I'm probably about an hour and a half behind in the comments, to be quite honest. I'm talking a lot tonight on side topics, so I apologize to everybody. Poor man says, I haven't made any videos in a long time because cell phones are too much of a problem and cameras are way too expensive for me to buy. Yeah, they are quite expensive. I totally agree with that. And Dogman says he's getting DTI as well. And there is Steve's woodworking channel again. And Shane Ladow. Hello, Shane. How are you doing tonight? I'm glad you could be here. And Colorado Pack Rat says people are house challenge or house absent sounds nicer. Yeah, that does sound nicer actually. House challenge. It's like me. I'm vertically challenged. Uh, Rob says the GoPro has a heating issue if you do not have some kind of air movement around it. Maybe adding a different. You might be adding some of that. So the other thing about GoPro is that you can only film for 1 hour spans, and then for me, when I download the footage off the SD card, even if I film for a full hour, it breaks it up into 11-minute sections, which I really don't like. I wish it would download the full 1 hour clip uninterrupted, but it does not, unfortunately. Clint has a serious question. Has Kenai had any run-ins with wild animals? No. He did chase a moose one day, but the moose ran off. Luckily, it didn't approach it, but he really hasn't. He hasn't seen anything but the moose. And when we're driving and he sees the moose, he acts like it is a giant dog, and he goes kind of crazy. It's funny because he'll bark for a long time after we pass the moose. But I'm very fortunate that he hasn't seen anything. Um, the night Well, I take that back a little bit. So, he's had 2 encounters with wolves. The one was right after we moved in here, and he didn't really seem bothered by them. Wasn't He whimpered a bit, like, he could hear them, and he was about ready to start howling himself, but he wasn't cowering, he wasn't, afraid at all, and he wasn't growling or putting his teeth up. Um, and then believe it or not, I heard wolves the other night, and he did the same thing. He just started howling at, at the wolves. They were probably about a mile or so away when I heard them. That's the closest encounters he's had with any wildlife here at the property. And ET Don says he traded his GoPros for an etch, a sketch, and a light bright. Saves on batteries. Oh my God, did that bring back memories? Colorado Brett says, actually, Cali is trying to make themselves look better since they are doing nothing about the homeless. Yeah, Cali has some weird laws in place that I can't wrap my head around. And Rob says, I started with bare bones stuff and then started getting stuff for reviews. I've seen review channels. I always think that's got to be a lot of money to invest in things so that you can review them. But then again, sometimes people send you stuff so that you can review the stuff as well. Um, Dogman says he has 20 miles of national forest behind him, and that is awesome. I have to admit, like, I'm very fortunate to back up to the national forest the way that I do. It it is so peaceful and so quiet here. Most nights when I'm sitting in the loft, just looking out the back door, it is so quiet in the cabin that I can literally hear my heart beating in my ears. I can hear myself thinking. It is insanely quiet here. Doug would like to know how your weather is there, Dog Man. Uh, he understands you're going to have quite the storm. Shane says that's because California is absolutely ridiculous, asinine, which is a shame because the land is absolutely beautiful. Yes, California's natural lands are absolutely gorgeous. Dennis says he's in a Starlink hole now. Oh, that's not good. But I'm glad you pointed that out, Dennis, because that is something that I was not aware of. That issue if I get the job working remotely from home. If you have metrics that you have to meet and KPIs and stuff like that. So Dogman says the weather is scaring him. Tomorrow is supposed to be bad. That's right. Poor man says my property overlooks a part. You love it. Privacy. Only have one side. It has a house on it, and all my windows overlook the park. Love the privacy. Yeah, the privacy is awesome. And again, Dogman is telling me if I get Starlink to put it up high. Rob says we only have one property touching ours. Other than that, only 1 to 2 full-time neighbors within 5 miles. Rest is all state land. We're only 3 miles from Denali Park as a crow flies. That's fantastic. It says you never know about the state. They likely do land sales. Just got an email this week about a new one in Big Lake. Yeah, so the land sales in Alaska is something that I had looked at doing before moving up here. Um, I just I could never find the right piece of property for me when I was looking at the land sales. And then the other thing is that a lot of times those land sales might not have roads cut into them. At least the ones that I was seeing at the time didn't have roads cut in, and I couldn't imagine how I would get my belongings, back to those properties because I have a lot of belongings and I didn't wanna let go of certain things. So, but you can get some really interesting properties and some nice properties, through the state land sales as well. Hello, Michelle. How are you doing tonight? I hope that you are doing well, and thank you for joining. Bob says he'll meet in town and bring a few dozen eggs to you. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it, 'cause the eggs are quite expensive on this side of the state, that's for sure. Dogman says, "Karens and Kevins are growing in force." Goodness. Thanks, Melvin, I appreciate it. 3 channels. Dogman actually has 3 channels. That's interesting. I know of 2. I'm gonna have to look at your 3rd one. Hello, Brenda, how are you doing tonight? She says, "It is a big world, and thank goodness we don't all have the one idea. I love everyone's different ideas." I agree. I and everyone's entitled to their own personalities and thoughts and, more power to you. So, thank you, Brenda, for that. And there is Dogman's channel link for everyone. And Brenda, the job hunt is going slowly. So, had an interview, recently and then got a job offer, but, the job just wasn't the right fit for me, and I have another interview scheduled for later this week. Hopefully, something will pan out here, soon, but right now, nothing's on the horizon. So, Dogman says, "I give old veterans money, not young homeless." That is correct. Yep. I'm a huge fan of our military service men and women, whether they fought in years past or they're currently serving now. That takes, you know, a lot of heart and soul and guts to do, and they're doing it for us. And so the least I can do is pay it forward and say thank you to them for all of the things that they've done for all of us. So, and I also believe that we're all responsible for ourselves, but when it comes to our military, they have our backs. The least I can do is have theirs as well. And Melvin says Kool-Aid or Ovaltine. That's a choice. Yep. Coke or Pepsi, potato. It's all a choice. And Connie says, "I agree with you. Facts are facts. Truth is truth." Yep. Iris says, "I love your channel, but was curious if you have a favorite Alaska channel that you enjoy. I like living vicariously by watching them and observing lifestyles and amazing backdrop mountain scenery." So I have quite a few favorite channels, and a lot of them are here tonight in the comments. So you'll see Nomstead, so Nomstead off-grid Alaska, Curmudgeon Inn, who is moderating for me tonight, Bill over at Alaska's Last Frontier Homestead, um, Ed from Mountain Mariner Off Grid. There's also an Alaskan Homestead. There is Southern Route. He just changed his name, so I'm going to get it wrong. It's Southern Route Alaska. I forgot what he changed it to. I'm sorry about that, Josh, if you're watching. And many, many more. Um, there's so many channels here in Alaska that there are so many that are unknown too, that are showing different things about Alaska. There's some great big channels, like Simple Living Alaska and Summers in Alaska and things like that. But really, I like watching the smaller channels. Um, it's just how I am. But even if these smaller channels got big, I'd still watch them. But there's a ton of channels in Alaska that are really awesome to watch, including Rustic Log Cabin Life, Big T, who moved up to Alaska years and years ago and has a very interesting backstory. Um, and I promote his Gazette at the end of every one of my videos, along with a couple other people here in Alaska who I help promote at the end of all of my videos. But there are a ton of amazing or channels here in Alaska. And here he is talking about his story as well, Big T, saying that he used to be homeless. I think I feel better here in Alaska, being that I love living in the forest rather than in the concrete jungle of Seattle. Yes, and that is the thing too, is that a lot of people move up here because it is hard to make it in the lower 48. In moving up here, you have a lot of opportunities that you might not have elsewhere in the country, and there's nothing wrong with being homeless, but I'm just my thing is if you're homeless, you're homeless. If you wanna be called something, that's fine, you can call yourself that, but, you know, there's nothing wrong with being what you are. You can't ask people to change just because you want them to change. That's my so, and Heather says, "Yes, alone, you not only choose your actions, sadly, at the same time, you choose your consequences." This is correct too, and you have to take responsibility for both. I agree 100%, Heather. JR is saying, "Dennis, and myself and others wrote Uncle Sam a blank check for any amount up to and including loss of life to protect that Constitution." Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And I am forever grateful for each and every one of you. And there is Big T's channel link. Thank you for doing that, Rob. And Dogman says, "Pound that like button, folks." Thank you, Dogman. I appreciate that. Heather says, "Which is what most people have difficulty accepting." So I was raised with a philosophy called plurality. Um, I know there's a disease called plurality, but the philosophy, basically says that you're responsible for every action that you take in life. And so I appreciate my father raising me with that thought because it has guided me in the decisions that I make in my life and how I accept responsibility for the things that I have done. So, hello, John. How are you doing tonight? John's asking for your firewood. Could you trade out dead or down wood on your property to your firewood dealer to offset your cost? Maybe I could. He traditionally is selling birch. I guess he does sell some spruce too. So possibly that is something that I should probably approach him about. But yeah, I hadn't given that thought before. So thank you for the suggestion. I will definitely ask that this next year and see if I can, get a little break on the price there for the difference. The wood went up quite a bit last year, and so I'm curious what it's gonna be this year, when I go to purchase it. LDS says she's vertically challenged. I assumed you're a female, so if you're not, I apologize, but LDS, also vertically challenged. Um, and it says, "Bruh, me too?" Uh, dogs are God's best creation. Dogs are fantastic. I love dogs. I was raised with dogs. I've had cats in the past too, but I have to admit I'm a huge dog fan. Hello, Billy Bob. How you doing tonight? He says he took an old man nap and woke up to a phone call about tomorrow's plans and have just been watching and hanging out alone. The more you talk, the more I learn and the more I appreciate your opinion. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Billy Bob. And Dennis says my Starlink is out for my TV stream alone. It is out at the moment, but I keep my phone handy to chat. Thank you very much for doing that, Dennis. I really appreciate it, despite your internet connection. And Billy Bob says the truth is truth. Without the truth, we all have is a lie. That is correct. And Steve is saying, right on with all you. I try to keep these from going political, so I apologize to anybody who did not hear political jargon and rants and what have you. That is not really what my channel is about. But at the same point, I don't back down. I don't scare easy. I don't back down. I I'm I'm not argumentative or want to really push an issue. I will stand my ground when it's something I truly believe in. And Colorado Pat Garrett said, "That woman is ridiculous." I'm sorry. Yep. Yeah, if you can't handle the truth, then that issue is with you, not with the person speaking the truth. So, I agree with you, Colorado Pat Garrett. Thank you. Just showing how ridiculous Callie is. Yep. And everybody knows it. I mean, it's not hidden to anybody, you know? So, yeah, it is what it is. But and there is Shane's channel link, everybody. Shane Liddell. And Donna says, "Maybe Kensington had encounters before you found him in the woods." Yeah, I believe Kenai did have encounters. I know that he possibly had encounters with, some coyotes because the year after I found him year after? No, it was the year that I found him, sorry. The year that I found him, that same trip, I had taken him out for a potty break while we were on the road, and there were coyotes that just started yipping in all directions around us, and as soon as the coyote started, he was like, "Nope, we gotta go. We gotta get out of here." And he, like that it was very obvious that he had an issue with the coyote. But the wolves, he does not seem to have an issue with. The wolves, he just is like, "Okay, it's a wolf. I'm gonna just chime in with them." Um, and when he hears a dog howling on TV, he could care less. If he hears puppies whining, he does the head tilt, but doesn't really react to it. But if he hears a wolf howling in a video, um, or the wolf howling here on the property, he chimes in right along with them, which I always thought was interesting, that he doesn't howl at anything else but the sounds of wolves. So maybe he, had some good encounters with them. Who knows? But he was out there for quite a bit by himself, so he could have had quite a number of encounters of any sort. Dogman says, "Love your channel, girl. I gotta go planning an epic uh, collab with another channel. We have to plan stuff. Well, good luck with the collab. I hope to check it out, and thank you for joining. Thank you, Dogman. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you taking care of those puppies and mama. That means a lot. And hello, Dennis. How are you doing? Or Denise, sorry about that. How are you doing tonight? I appreciate you being here. And thank you, Dogman, for the reminder and everybody here tonight. I appreciate that. Hello, Kevin. Much respect for you putting up Alaska winters. As for me, I'm heading south. Yes, the winters can be hard for some people, and you know, I wish you all the best in the south. But yeah, I love it here when it's cold. I'm glad that we get 9 months of winter. I think it's absolutely awesome. Ashley's asking, what's the website for the Alaska land sales? I believe that you can go to oh my goodness, it just crossed my mind. The Department of Natural Resources or alaskastate.gov, alaska.gov, and you might be able to find the land sales on there, Ashley. I'll add it into one of my upcoming videos for you as well, Ashley, so that you have that information. And actually, episode 22 that I did where I said, "Don't buy land in Alaska until you watch this video," it's in that video. The website is listed in that video itself. You'll have to probably watch the video because 'cause I'm not sure if I listed it in the description, but it is in episode 22. I agree, Steve. Bye. Have a nice life. And Rob is gonna find the link for you as well, Ashley. Sorry, I am behind in the comments. I apologize. I'm just talking up a storm tonight. And Susan says, "We will have to retire for the night. Thanks for the great conversation. See you next time. Have a good night." Good night, Susan. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. And there is John in Alaska's channel link again for everybody. And Matt said, "Southern Roots, Alaska branches." I think he changed it to. That is correct. Thank you very much, Matt. I was trying to remember. I was like, I know I got the Southern Roots of Alaska. So thank you very much. So it used to be, and now I just lost the question before. Oh my goodness. Josh is the gentleman who runs that channel, and Josh is quite the character, has the cutest family, and, he's got the greatest accent. He's definitely from the South, so be sure to check out his channel as well. He does a little bit of, prepping stuff along with his Alaska lifestyle, and he is, who to converse with for sure. And it says, 86-inch TV is still out of Starlink. I'm forced to watch you on 2.5-inch cell phone. That's painful because 'cause I'm probably not really big, but I appreciate you doing it nonetheless. Reset camera again, sound's getting wonky. Okay, one more time, folks. One more time. All right, how's it now? Hopefully it's getting better. But I do hear the winds kicking up again, so I'm afraid that it might that doesn't off the light in here, so hopefully you can see me a little bit better as it's gotten a little bit darker outside. And Heather says, FYI, audio has gone out again. Yep. Okay. Hopefully I got it fixed. Bill's channel link for everybody. Thank you, Rob. And there is Ed's channel link. And Sarah, hello. Nice of you to join tonight. She says she also likes Simple Living Alaska, is also a great one. They are a great one, and they are constantly doing things in Alaska, which is awesome to see. And they are in the process of moving to a new property, which is also awesome to see. And there is Not So Remote's channel link. Thank you for doing that again, Rob. And Know Me My Homie at Gnomestead Off Grid, Alaska. And thanks, everyone. Susan says, I hope you have a good night, Susan. Poor Man's channel link. And Dennis says, where did all the suitors go? I don't know. I think they were afraid to see if their straw wasn't pulled or not. Yeah, none of the suitors are here tonight. Oh, well, no, that's not true. Mr. the Giant Puppy is here tonight. And there is Curmudgeon Inn's channel link for everybody. And Color Pat says, I'm old and retired and won't give anything to young homeless. I tell them to get a job. No, you're responsible for yourself in this life. That is for sure. And you get back in life what you put forth in life is how I look at it. And Dennis says, did you run off all my competition for your hand? I might have. Oh my goodness. RM says, a person living in the city in a dinky little apartment thinks they have a home. That's cool for them. They might consider me homeless in my 40-acre open air starry sky home. Yep. I'm sure people think like those people that are living, the overlanding life, they're in their vans, they're in their RVs, or they're living in their Jeep or their Prius. I'm sure people think they're homeless too, but honestly, I think they're living quite the cool life to see the world. Um, and their homes on four wheels. It's just a different way of living, right? Just different perspectives. That's exactly what it is. And Clinton says, vertically challenged. I've never had that problem. I've always had that problem. Oh my goodness. Judy says, we are the dead end of our road, and our land is on a bluff bordering a wilderness park, very wooded with beautiful large rocks. For 45 years, never saw another light in any direction. That is fantastic. That is absolutely cool. That's how this property is. Like, I can't see any neighboring homes at night or anything like that, no matter what direction I look at. And it is fantastic. I have to tell you. Back in Colorado, I always felt like I was invading my neighbor's barbecue when I went into my backyard. So it's nice to know that I'm not invading anybody else's space from the comfort of my own home. And there is Steve's Woodworking and Homesteads channel link again. And hello, Sarah. Sarah is the other half of Curmudgeon Inn. And she says, I thought or taught that privilege comes sorry, I'm misreading that. I was taught that with privilege comes responsibility and that not everyone has the same capacity, strengths, and weaknesses. This is correct. And I taught my children too, like just because you're at a disadvantage doesn't mean that you get to take advantage of others because of your disadvantage. So I agree completely with what you're stating there, Sarah. And RM says, you're the real deal. Keep standing strong. Thank you very much, RM. I appreciate that. Rob says you're making, or Steve, eh, Rob, you're making Steve blush. Oh my goodness. Uh, I watch, just don't always comment. That is part of my problem too. Is like a lot of times I'm watching videos in the background, so I don't comment when I'm just listening to them and letting them play. But I try to interact with everybody as much as I possibly can. One thing I'm finding is that now that I'm not working and I'm not tied to my desk, that I'm not on the computer as much and I'm watching from my phone. And so therefore I'm less interactive on the computer than I used to be. Like before I was answering emails and comments and everything like crazy. And now it's like I have to set a dedicated time to make sure that I'm not focused on anything else. and sitting down and responding to comments and watching videos wholeheartedly and interacting with those comments and what have you in their videos. So I apologize if I'm not getting to everybody's videos like I used to, but I'm working on it. I'm doing the best that I can to get to everybody. And Donna says, "I'm with you alone. I'm vertically challenged. I'm also 5'1". Woo. Yeah, I'm pretty short. So I didn't realize how short I was until I saw a picture of me standing at my desk at one of the corporate jobs I had. I was like standing behind it where you would normally be seated. And for years, I saw that picture and didn't think anything about it. And then one day I was really looking at the picture and realized I was standing, and it blew me away how short I actually am. Like, I didn't realize I was quite that tiny until I saw that picture. Brenda says Kenai is getting in touch with his ancestors. That's what I think. Like, I've joked for years that I think he has a little bit of wolf in him because he's gotten certain traits and features about him that I've never seen in other dogs. And I'm like, maybe he's just got a little bit of wolf in him, maybe. But really, he's the sweetest boy I've ever had. At least he's, sweet to me. So that's all that matters. But he's a cutie, that's for sure. Jared says Kelly a low has a law that prohibits government employees from doing government business in a red state. That is not good. That is not good. And Clint says, I was 5'1" in the first grade. So was I. Just kidding. In the first grade, I have no idea how tall I was. Oh my goodness. Hello, SKS. How are you doing tonight? Thank you for joining. Thank you, Brenda, so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I have to tell you that. You guys make my day for sure. And Donna says, I believe wolves outright kill dogs, and Kenai experienced that. So, yes, that was one of the things that I was warned about by some of the people in this area is that the wolves, they'll send out a female to lure the dogs in, and then they kill the dog. And they also mimic a dog's bark, which then sends the dog, after what they think is another dog. So, yeah, wolves will definitely take your dog and they'll definitely kill it. That's for sure. And she says, I believe wolves, yeah, right there. Annette says, I think they can find an Alaskan BLM and click on the land for sale. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, Alaska BLM. So if you're looking, Ashley, for the land sales in Alaska, check that out. And Clint says, you were 23 and still in the first grade. Oh my goodness. Sound check affirmative. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. I'm glad the sound returned, considering I just started talking again and acted like nothing had happened. Um, Bill wants to know. Sorry, it took me a minute to read through that comment, Bill. Bill wants to know if he's being encroached on by Rob. Got a war going on here. Oh my goodness. It's a bit better now. Good. Thank you, Matt. And at Justine Anderson, there is the channel link there. Hi, Linda. How are you doing tonight? She's late and glad that she didn't miss me. I never got an alarm set. A lot of good that did. Well, remember, you can always go back and rewatch the live post uh, ending here, and you can catch up on everything that you missed. But I appreciate you joining nonetheless. And good night, Beth. I hope you have a good night. Rob says, yes, he is moving in on the territory. You've been napping. Go back to sleep. But oh my goodness. Hello, Lips. I'm glad you're here tonight. I appreciate it. Linda says, love the hair and the new color. Can you see the purple in it? That's from the toner I put in to cut out the brassiness when I color my hair, and I got a little too much in there. I'm gonna have purple for the next week or so in my hair. But uh, yes, and thank you, Bill and Rob, both of you, for agreeing to moderate for me, especially in Dewey's absence. I'm gonna have a talk with that girl who moderates the moderators. We'll leave that up to you, Ed. You want that role? We'll leave you in charge of moderating the mods. Right, Ashley? I think he's volunteering. Hello, 2 Bears. How you doing? Miss seeing you here earlier, but I'm glad you're here now. We are the Matrix. Oh my goodness. Uh, did you retire? Yeah, Ed, did you retire or did you just become debt free? Which I'm jealous of, by the way. That's fantastic for you. Ed says he would be a horrible moderator. I don't think so. You'd probably be the best, funniest moderator. That's for sure, with all your jokes. Jeff says, stopping in to say hey at work, so can't stick around. Nice of you to pop in nonetheless, Jeff in Ohio. I appreciate you being here for even just a moment. And Rob saying, people told me the same thing when I lived on my sailboat. State even gave me a hard time about having an ID with no street address. Had to find ways around it. Hoist anchorage and have a new view. Yep, that's the way I look at the people that are overlanding is like you can wake up in a different spot every day and you're gonna see the most amazing thing. So Dogman says, I had to leave major commotion outside. A black bear was on the property and dogs went nuts. Oh my goodness. That's that's not good. I hope you're fine. I hope the dogs are fine. I hope you scared the bear away. You've got a lot of things going on there tonight, Dogman. And Ed says, iron fist moderators like myself are not welcomed in most jurisdictions. Oh my goodness. Such the tough guy. Uh, Christina says, Alone, I wanted to tell you that I absolutely love the color you picked and painted in your kitchen. Thank you very much. I'm absolutely loving it. Like the kitchen looks so transformed now. When I go down there, I just have a big smile on my face because it's so bright in there now and it looks homey as opposed to just kind of looking sad, is how the cabin looked before. Uh, Doug says, I offered breakfast. Bring it on over. I'm hungry. Ed says, I have many, many no verifiable address stories. I bet you do. I definitely bet you do. Where's Dewey? In hiding with Sasquatch. Yeah. Yep. I think her and Sasquatch have run away together. I haven't heard from her for quite a while. Dogman says, I had a goatee in the third grade. Oh my goodness. That's quite the look on a child. Rob. We had that issue when we first got here too. UMV did not want to give us our driver's license as they could not figure out how to enter our parcel ID and track number. So I was talking to another individual here in Alaska, and their driver's license actually says their legal address on it, which is, like block 1 of 810, section 2, whatever. And I thought that was interesting that their driver's license actually said that because they didn't have a mile marker yet, in the system for their property. So I thought that was really interesting. And, yeah, most of us in the rural areas are using our mile marker as our address. Ashley says, "No verifiable address is my primary goal in life." Right? I agree, and that is a fantastic goal. Um, Will is saying, I've heard some people who live in places like you just make up a street address. He's talking to Rob over at Convention Inn. Places like Valdez, everyone has a PO box as their street address. Oh, that's interesting. I did not realize that. And Donna says she was probably 3.5 feet in the first grade. The UMV spelled my last name with three SSS in a row. Took me 2 years to get my last name corrected. Oh my goodness. Ira says, "Thank you, really enjoyed being here. I appreciate you being here tonight, Ira, and I hope you had a good time, and I hope you have a good evening as well." Um, Rob is saying, "We just went to the DMV in Talkeetna, and they got it done. Perfect." Yep. I I had gone originally to the DMV in, Glen Allen, and the first time I went up there, it's about an hour's drive away. I got there plenty of time. It says they weren't taking appointments, and, it was a few hours before she closed, and she told me, "Sorry, I can't help you day, I'm booked. You gotta go back and come back some other day." And that was the most frustrating thing for me. And then, when I got there, they required so much documentation, more documentation than you would expect because of the fact that I've been married and divorced, and I had to have all sorts of things showing maiden name, married name, and, what my name is now, like divorce decree and everything like that, which I was like, "I've never had to prove so much about myself, and I still don't even have the real ID." So, meaning after May 3rd of this year, I cannot get on a commercial airline or go into a federal facility, unless I upgrade to the real ID. So, it's fine with me because I wanna stay in Alaska anyhow, but if ever I wanted to fly, I would need to get that upgraded to the real ID. Alaska was one of the very last states to adopt the real ID, but by May 3rd of this year, it's law that you have to have that in order to get onto an airplane. So, and it says, "But I'm good with the postmaster in Delta, she takes care of me." That's awesome. Um, we have a new mail delivery person in this area in Alaska, and they seem to be doing fantastic. Things have really changed for the better in this area for those who get mail delivered to their homes. But in Copper Center, where I get my mail delivered to my PO box, the girl that runs that, post office is fantastic. She does an amazing job. It's just her, and she's, servicing, the entire area that comes into that, post office, and I'm always blown away by how busy she is. Good night, Connie. Have a good night, and I will hopefully see you on the next one. Laura Packrat says, "I lived in my RV paying land rent, saving up money to buy my house. I wasn't homeless, begging for money on a street corner. I was working a job." Yep, that's the thing. It's like you get out of life what you put into life, and your situation might not be ideal for others, but it might be the best thing for you, and it might be actually really cool if someone would just let their guard down and think about it for a moment. And honestly, we all fall into my stomach is rumbling. That's quite the rumble. I apologize if you could hear that, but we all fall into different categories in life that, I think everybody should find, um, some positive in everything. And honestly, I think what you did is fantastic. I think that's the way that many people want to go is to, you know, downsize and live in a way where it allows them to save up as much money so they can fulfill their dreams. For me, that was buying a house and investing into that house, and then when the market was right, putting that house on the market and taking the proceeds so that I could be here and living this dream. And I am very, very fortunate that I was able to do that. So, and it says the bears haven't woken up here yet. Same thing, except for I did see a bear crossing the Richardson on my way down to Valdez about a week and a half ago. And I've seen people out glassing for bears along the Richardson as well. So I know that any day now I'm going to see a bear or some tracks here on the property. But they're starting. And Two Bear says, "I am suffering tonight with a pulled muscle in my neck and shoulder. I was all set to come on and then had to try and sleep for a while." Well, hopefully you'll get that, uh, pulled muscle to resolve itself. That's never any fun. Hopefully you're taking some pain meds for that. Poor man says, "I have never been in debt." Well, sorry, 4,000 in debt to buy my place, paid cash for everything I've ever owned, and everything I've owned is all paid off. That's awesome. I think that is the goal, for most people, and definitely for me at least, is my goal is to be debt free completely. And hello, Happy Tappy. How are you doing tonight? Says, "Sorry, we've missed you and you're not doing Saturday night chats anymore." I have paused the Saturday night chats. I was going to do a community post and then I spaced it out. I've paused the Saturday night chats temporarily. I think what I'm going to do is going to doing them maybe once a month on the Saturday night chats, because I'm joining some other people's chats on Saturday night as well, like Steve's woodworking. Um, so it just takes up a lot of time if I'm, on his chat for a few hours and then trying to do my chat for a few hours and stuff. So I think once a month is what I'm gonna do on the Saturday night chats. But I appreciate you being here on the Monday night chat nonetheless. And Rob says, "Our only bills are phones, internet, truck insurance, and that's about it." I wish I was at that point. I definitely wish that I was at that point. I'm getting there, but the job thing has put a little hindrance on that. Steve says, "Canned peaches and toast for dinner." I love being a grown up. I can't tell you how many times I've sat down with a jar of peaches, as a meal here in the cabin. It's like, who's gonna tell me otherwise, you know? Hello, Jay, how are you doing? Jay says, "I think I forgot to tell you that I like the job you did on your shelves, really nice." Thank you, Jay, I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that you watched as well, and Ashley's telling you 2 bears to feel better. Growing up, our address was a milepost. Yep. That's how it is for a lot of us here in Alaska and other parts of the country. I mean, we're not the only ones that have the HC or a milepost address, but it's very common here in Alaska for sure. And Ed over at Mountain Mariner is saying Talkeetna DMV is a log cabin. Love it. Oh, that's pretty cool. I definitely need to make my way out to Talkeetna. Um, Honestly, I think Talkeetna has a lot of charm, but I haven't been there since moving to Alaska, so I need to make my way there. And then Doug is asking Dogman if he's filled his freezer. And Brun says, "Have been listening for a while. I was cleaning house. Thanks for chatting and for the chat and catch up." You are welcome, Brun. Thank you for listening, even if you're just busy doing things around your home and your property. I appreciate it nonetheless. And this is mentioned in Facebook page link for everybody who is interested. And John in Alaska's link. Hello, Creative Lori. How are you doing? And Creative Lori also has a channel that I follow. If you are into um, uh, frugal living, if you will, and value saving and things like that, Creative Lori has a fantastic channel for that. So thank you for joining tonight, Lori. I appreciate being here. And there is Not So Remote's channel link. And Gnome says channel link again. And then it says his Starlink is up. That is awesome. I'm glad it finally came back. That was quite a while. And Marion Francis, thank you tonight for being here. I hope that you've been enjoying listening so far. I know you just joined, but thank you again for being here tonight. And Rob says the guy thinking I am showing him out of the way as a mod. Oh, this is sorry. This is Bill at Alaska's Last Frontier Homestead channel link. Nikki Don says, "I have good luck, moved into dry cabin on the river outskirts of Fairbanks, sorry. No realistic address. Had CDL truck and trailer license to transfer. Fairbanks DMV took care of everything in no time." That's fantastic. That is absolutely wonderful. Well, now anybody who's moving over to the Glen Allen area or the surrounding communities who needs to get their driver's license updated or get a new driver's license will have to drive into either Valdez, Fairbanks, Tok, or the Anchorage area because the DMV here is no longer open in Glen Ellen. So you have to go for a little trek to get your driver's license these days on this side of the state. And there is Ed at Mountain Mariners channel link. Thank you, Rob. And Bill over at Alaska's Last Frontier is saying, "I only use my US passport for flying." I don't think they're gonna accept passports anymore as of May 3rd. So I think as of May 3rd, it has to be a real ID, and there is one other document that will be used, but I don't believe it's the passport after that. Arm says, "Couldn't hear your belly at all, but now we all know." Yeah, I haven't eaten anything yet today. I've been so busy around the cabin that I haven't eaten anything, so I need to, make myself some dinner for sure. Big T says, "I have another computer project to you to use my website editor on a Win 7 Pro 64-bit, then mid-April, I should be back to regular uploads on the Gazette." Yeah, poor Big T, he lost everything, on his computers, and he had to start all over from scratch. So, we're all sticking with you there, Big T, and pulling for you to get it all back up and running. And there is Rustic Log Cabin Life's, YouTube channel link. Thank you for putting that up there. That's Big T's channel, by the way. And Brent says, "We just want to live in a way that we can flourish, be self-reliant more so, and not be afraid about life and be positive about the future." Amen. More power to you too. I agree. That's the way to do it. Rob is saying no bears yet, but he's waiting at his property over there on the other side of the state. And JR says, "The poor man." Same here, and feels fantastic. Being debt free is got to be the best feeling in the world. I've been there at other points in my life, but right now I unfortunately am not there. I wish I was. By the time I'd lost my job, that would have made things so much easier. But unfortunately, that is not how the cards played out. And Ed is saying to Bill over at Alaska's Lost Frontier Homestead, they let you into other states and countries. Oh my goodness. Hello, Gnomestead. Thank you for coming back in to talk to us tonight. He's waiting for the paint to dry. Did you miss anything good? You'll have to go back and rewatch the whole live to find out all the goodies that you missed. They're like little Easter eggs throughout the whole live, Homestead. Oh my goodness. And Dennis says, "Do Saturday night chats in the summer sitting outside?" Yes, that would be fantastic. I'll have to use my phone as opposed to, the computer, but, that would be fantastic as long as I can keep the mosquitoes away. I'll sit out by the bonfire and do them. And Brent says, "Hello, Bill. Hi, is your, dry cabin trip? Hi, is your" I didn't get the first part of that. Sorry, Bren. Happy Chappy says, "I'm on a break, that's why I was able to, but yes, if you're doing monthly Saturdays, I'm more available for that, but I get it." Yep, I will definitely do them because I want to be able to communicate and chat with everybody from different areas of the world. But yeah, it's a lot to try to do 2 lives in one night for sure. Good night, Chris. Thanks for joining tonight. And yeah, I will definitely have a good night and get something to eat too. And Rob saying seared stew meat, slow cooked with taters and veggies for us. Oh my goodness, you guys are going to make me hungry here. And it's just about time for me to hop off. But I'm going to go ahead and finish this out. I'll get off right at 7:30 tonight and make it go a little bit longer for those of you who are hanging out with me still. But Iris says, "I'm glad to be mortgage free being in my 60s. As from experience, I do not fully trust the governments or the banks, especially right now with all the things that are happening with the runs on the banks and the banks not having the funds available. So I completely understand that one." Bill over at Alaska's Last Frontier Homestead says, "I only have two debts, my camper and my excavator. I'm selling my camper this spring, hoping to pay off the excavator in 2 years." That's a good goal. RM says crock pot barbecue, pork and beans here with potato salad. Come get you some. Oh, that sounds delicious actually too. That's like making my mouth water. John in Alaska says Mountain Mariner, off-grid Alaska, and a small cabin. Matt, Talkeetna was all the driver's favorite stop when I was driving tour buses. Yeah, because it's like the most Alaska looking. Like when you think of Alaska, you think of Talkeetna, really, like that type of town. It is the cutest little town. I think they're cute. I think McCarthy's cute. And I'm sure there are plenty of others that I haven't experienced yet, but Talkeetna definitely has a lot of character to it. Linda says, "I'm excited to watch you and your son this summer. He's definitely got your great sense of humor." He is a very funny person, and he's always cracking jokes, which I absolutely love. Creative Lori says, "Sometimes you put 110% into life but life happens. You might want to take care of an ailing parent, etc. This can drive your life savings, change your career, marriage, and life. And I would do it all over again." Exactly. Like I have no regrets about anything I've ever done in my life. And the goods and the bads, the highs and the lows, I would take each and every one of them all over again because I've learned something from each and every one of them. So, um, yeah, no do overs is how I look at it. Donna says that she was the shortest kid in her class till she started high school and grew to 5'1", half inch drinking in my old age. Lol. Sarah says Talkeetna is an artsy fartsy community. That's why. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Dennis says Talkeetna was nice, but they're after the tourist dollar pretty hard now. Yeah. I think there's a lot of Alaska that's after the tourist dollar. That's a huge industry here for sure. Um, Ed says it's snowing in Talkeetna. It has been snowing here for the last 4 days. Today it was bright and sunny, but I don't know what it's doing outside now with all those winds. Probably blowing a storm in because I'm supposed to get snow tomorrow. And there is Creative Lori's channel link, everybody. Thank you for putting that up, Rob. And Rose Burke, how are you doing tonight? She says, this is only the second time listening in. So far, I like it. I love Alaska. I want to move back. Come on home. Come on home, Rose. We'd love to have you. Starlink is up and your head is 2 feet tall on my TV. That's scary. Jacket Sprocket. When I get my real ID, the person flicked my birth certificate to me saying she could not accept foreign documents. What? That that is weird. Were you born in another country, Jackets? I guess I should ask that first before assuming it's weird. Thank you, Rob. Rob saying that Kenai and I always have a place up at their place. Thank you very much. I appreciate that because I'm telling you, if I make it out that far, I'm probably going to wind up staying the night because that's quite the drive for me. And no says saying Tahina is the best September through May. Avoid in summer if you can. Yeah, all the tourists. I would think so. And Bill also put up Creative Lori's link. Thank you both for doing that. Hello, Drone Shots. How are you doing? He says he's got to take care. I'm going to hit the bed. I hope you sleep well tonight, Drone Shots, and thanks for joining in. Colorado Pack Rat, haven't had any bears sleeping in my car, breaking out windows yet this year. Yeah, Colorado bears are pretty famous for that. There was a story years back about a kid who left a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in his car, and the bear broke in just to get the sandwich. Billy Bob says, as many pilots that have dropped dead after taking off in the last little bit, I will take my chances driving. At least 6 in the last month reported here in the States. Wow. Don't tell me that. That's scary. That's really scary. No, I don't want to know that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I've never really been a fan of flying. So that's one of the other reasons why I was like, I'm not too worried about the real ID. But I know at some point I'm probably going to have to go back to lower 48 for one thing or another since they still have family there. So I'll worry about it then. Yeah, I've been to Talkeetna in the winter and it was pleasant. Well, that's awesome. I'm going to have to make my way out there. I should go before the summer starts. I was 65 when I started in, oh, I was 6'5" when I started in high school, Clint says. Wow, you're a tall guy. And there is Drone Shots channel link for everybody. Ashley saying debt free since October, saving steadily and getting caught up on projects. That is awesome, Ashley. Happy Chappy says, gotta go, but sending you and Kenai love. Sending it right back at you, Happy Chappy. Thank you for popping in tonight. I do appreciate it, even though it's not Saturday night. And Rob says, took part in my first live with MT Homestead Sunday. It was fun. We'll have to try myself soon. Yes, Rob, let everybody know here when you're going to do your live. And same thing with Bill. Bill, I tried to do one on Wednesday night. Unfortunately, YouTube was not cooperating, but I definitely will be there for both of you guys. I really appreciate everything that you do for me. And Steve's only 4 hours ahead of me. Um, but your lives last for about 2 to 3 hours as well. And Annette says, my granddaughter and I made homemade pizza tonight. Oh, that sounds tasty too. You guys are like, honestly, I'm drooling. Thank you, Ashley, for reminding everybody to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate that. Good night, Doug. Um, See you next time. Thanks for joining into the conversation. Thank you, poor man. I hope you have good dinner tonight. And he says he's having rooster. That sounds delicious. And Rob is telling Alaska's Last Frontier to bring the excavator up to his place. Billy Bob, peanut butter and banana sandwich toasted with honey. Mmm, yummy. Matt says, I ate half a box of Triscuits for dinner. I think I made a critical error. Oh my goodness. I'd be so if I ate Triscuits for dinner. And Ed is saying Bill can widen the pedestrian walkway on the Trestle Bridge with that excavator. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to picture Bill um on the Trestle Bridge. That's scary right there. Yeah, don't drink any water or you might pop, Nomi says to Matt. The Trestle Bridge is long overdue to have it widened. Oh my goodness. We had our first warm spring rain here, Steve's Woodworking says. Yeah, rain is on the way here. It was raining when I came back from Anchorage the last time, but I think I'm just going to get snow for the next couple days. I don't think I'm going to see any rain for another week or so at least. Hello, Elizabeth Smith. Thank you for joining. And John says, I never go to Talkeetna during the summer. Too many tourists. That's what I hear. I hear it's quite the place with all the buses and everything going through there. Noam says, what's the word? I'm working on the bridge to Chase. Donna, how far are you from Homer, Alaska? About 8 hours. It's about 8 hours to Homer from here. Rob says that the Tessel Bridge is a drive and a train ride. Lol. That's good to know. Good to know. Let's see here. Alaska's Last Frontier Homestead from Department of Homeland Security.gov. If you're traveling domestically, you will need one valid form of identification, either your real ID or another acceptable alternative, such as a passport, not both in 2021. Yeah. Well, I wonder what it's going to become May 3rd, though. Will the passport still be acceptable? Because it's May 3rd of this year when they change it. Elizabeth says at Jackets, I think the DMV people are just slow. The Nebraska one tried to tell me that my birth certificate was fake because it was out of state. It took me 3 trips just to get my license transferred. Oh my goodness. That's quite the adventure just to get your driver's license from one state to the next. Matt says, we mostly like Talkeetna because Royal Caribbean rented out the whole hideaway building for the summer for us to stay in. Usually was the best night's sleep in our whole tour. Yeah, I would think so. It'd be pretty nice. At least they did that for you though, when you were driving the tour buses. E.T. Don says, I was 5'11" in high school all 6 years. Oh my goodness. 6 years is a long time. Good night, Debbie Ledbetter. Thank you for being here tonight. And I am actually going to start signing off here tonight. So I want to say thank you to everybody who joined. I want to say thank you to those of you who have watch the replay of this after it's aired. And I want to say thank you to everybody who donated tonight. I really appreciate it. Debbie and also Dennis, both of you, I really appreciate your donations. Those mean a lot to me. And I want to thank Rob and Bill for moderating for me tonight. And I want to say shame on Dewey for choosing to make money from her employer and not being here tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Dewey knows that she is always welcome when she can make it, and she's not expected to do so at any point. I really appreciate her helping out as a favor when she can. So thank you again to each and every one of you for being here tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and say good night to everybody. And Robin, thank you for joining, even if it is just here as I'm signing off for the night. But I wanted to say thank you. Thank you, Bill and Rob, again. And thank you, Terry Miller, for joining, even if it was just for a moment. And to Adam and Phyllis over at Alaska Cut the Cord. I appreciate you guys being here. And Nomstead for joining in at the last moment, nonetheless. And Ashley Anderson, thank you for being here. Jackets Brackets, thank you for being here. Dogman, thank you for being here. And Steve's Woodworking, thank you for being here. Annette, I appreciate it. And Matt, I appreciate you being here as well. And RM, thank you guys all for the conversation tonight. And E.T. Dawn, John in Alaska, and Wendy, thank you all. And Seashell B, I can't forget you as well. Thank you again. And El Diaz. And of course, Clint, we can't forget Clint, and we can't forget Ed over at Mountain Mariner, you guys keep the humor rolling, and I appreciate it. Same with JR and Steve's Woodworking. You guys are fantastic for uh, piping in and keeping things lively here tonight. Thank you, Steve, for joining. And Linda Morris and Lips, I appreciate you. Two Bears and Heather as well. And Two Bears, I hope you get to feeling better. And thank you guys all for um, letting me know how my audio was performing and for advising me on ways that I could resolve it. I appreciate that. And for you guys sticking through, regardless of the sound quality tonight. I really appreciate it. So thank you guys. Have a good night, and I will see you again on the next one.